On the day before Thanksgiving, 1971, a quiet man in a black suit walked up to an airline counter, paid $20 in cash for a one-way ticket, and a few hours later jumped out of the back of a Boeing 727 into a freezing storm, with $200,000 strapped to his body. He was never seen again. Not a body, not a name, nothing. It is the only unsolved skyjacking in American history, and after 50 years the case may finally be cracking open. Let me tell you the whole story. He called himself Dan Cooper, mid-40s, calm, polite, seat 18E on Northwest Orient Flight 305, a short hop from Portland to Seattle. He ordered a bourbon and soda, lit a cigarette, it was 1971, and handed the flight attendant a note. She assumed it was a phone number and slipped it into her pocket. He leaned over and said quietly, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Inside his briefcase, red cylinders, wires, a battery. His demands were precise. $200,000 in cash, about $1.5 million in today's money, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. No panic, no shouting. The other 35 passengers had no idea anything was wrong. They were told the plane had a small mechanical delay. He even offered to pay for his drinks with a tip. In Seattle, the FBI delivered a 21-pound bag of 10,000 $20 bills, every serial number secretly recorded. Cooper released all the passengers, kept the crew, and gave the pilots strange expert instructions. Fly to Mexico City. 10,000 feet, landing gear down, flaps at 15 degrees, keep it under 200 knots. Aviation people will tell you, those are the exact settings that make a 727 slow and stable enough to jump from. Somewhere over the dark forests of southwest Washington, at 8:13 p.m., in freezing rain and a 200-mile-an-hour wind blast, the plane's rear staircase dropped open, and Dan Cooper stepped off into the night wearing a business suit, loafers, and a parachute. When the plane landed in Reno, the cabin was empty. He was gone. What followed was one of the biggest manhunts in FBI history. Hundreds of soldiers combed the forest for weeks. Nothing. No parachute, no body, no money. Then, in 1980, a 9-year-old boy digging a fire pit on a Columbia River beach found 3 bundles of rotting $20 bills, $5,800. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom. It's still the only trace of him ever found, and it raised more questions than it answered, because the money was miles from where he should have landed. The FBI investigated over 1,000 suspects, and in 2016, after 45 years, they officially gave up. But the story didn't end. In 2023, investigators pulled a parachute rig out of a family outbuilding in North Carolina, with modifications matching the chutes given to Cooper. The family? The children of Richard McCoy II, a Vietnam veteran and skydiver who pulled off an almost identical copycat hijacking just 5 months later and died in a prison escape shootout in 1974. After their mother's death, his children came forward and said what they'd kept secret for decades. They believed their father was D.B. Cooper. Right now, the FBI is testing DNA from the clip-on tie Cooper left on seat 18E. So was it McCoy? Maybe. Or maybe Cooper never survived that jump at all. No experienced skydiver, the FBI argued, would jump blind into a storm, at night, in loafers. Here's the thing, though. The money was never spent. Not one recorded bill ever surfaced. Whoever he was, D.B. Cooper did the one thing no other hijacker ever managed. He vanished and became a legend. The case may finally get a name, but the legend belongs to the night.